Hello everyone, this is Hillary with Dominion Tea, and today we're going to talk about how tea is made. And in particular, we're going to talk about the very first step, harvesting. Before we go into harvesting, let's talk about the tea process in general. We harvest the tea leaves, we weather them, we shape them, we dry them, and then they get packaged and stored before going off to the end consumer. So before you can even harvest tea, it's got to grow. So let's talk a little bit about the growing conditions you're going to find tea plants in. They love to be up at high elevation. So we're talking generally around 3,000 to 5,000 feet. That doesn't mean they can't grow at sea level. They absolutely can. They're just going to act a little bit differently. The ones growing up over 6,000 feet produce some of the most amazing flavors. So these are our Darjeelings, our oolongs out of Alishan, our high elevation Ceylons. Being up on the mountainside is what they want because they want good drainage. They also want that beautiful morning fog that comes with those subtropical mountains and afternoon sun. Much like humans, they want 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit. That's their ideal temperatures to grow at. That doesn't mean they can't survive in warmer temperatures or colder. In fact, they can survive down around freezing, just not for very long. Soil, like other plants, they need a good pH balance. They do like it slightly more acidic. They absolutely need magnesium and nitrogen. They want the calcium low in the soil, though. And last but not least, a healthy tea field has plenty of insects. And for those of us who are fans of Oriental beauty, we want those grasshoppers every year. Those biting insects help the tea leaf to produce more polyphenols, which gives us a more flavorful cup of tea. So when does a tea master harvest? Well, there's a lot of considerations to take in. First, are there enough leaves to harvest? That is especially true if you're bringing out mechanized harvesting. You're not going to harvest for just a bud using a machine. You're going to want 3 or 4 leaves, that stem growth, to justify the machine. You're also going to want to know the length of the leaves and the number of leaves available, right? If you're going to do a tea kuan yin, you're going to want those leaves long enough to do a nice ball and hold on the stem well. Of course, you're not going to want to harvest in rain. Much like any other crop, while it is raining, the tea leaves do not have full flavor. They're busy absorbing water. So you're not setting yourself up for a good tea product when it's finished if you're harvesting in the rain or the fog. So most tea masters I've talked to have said they're going to wait at least 24 hours. Some want to go out 48 if they have the opportunity before they go in and harvest, just to allow the leaves to dry out. And of course, we've talked about labor, and there are labor shortages. If you don't have a plucking team available to harvest, it doesn't matter. And so sometimes you harvest when the labor is available. That is especially true in countries like Taiwan. So sometimes you have to harvest when conditions aren't ideal. So what happens to those tea leaves when that is the case? So in one regard, those leaves are sometimes just taken and composted back into the soil. This happened quite routinely in Darjeeling during their labor shortages and strikes in 2017. And so they would, in order to maintain the plucking bench, go out, cut the leaves, and just drop them on the ground. In other cases, those leaves are taken back to the manufacturing center. They're cut down and turned into tea bag or ready to drink tea because they aren't going to hold the flavor necessary to produce a high-quality orthodox tea. So how do you get the leaves back to the facility? In some cases, it's as simple as a basket on your back. The baskets will hold anywhere between 5 to 10 kilos, give or take their size. So we're talking 10 to 20 pounds. And you'll just walk it back into the facility if it's within walking range. In Japan, they've got all sorts of mechanized machines that hook up into vacuum hoses. And if the field is close enough to the facility, the leaves will travel through the vacuum hose back to the facility, or they'll travel to the end of the line of tea plants into a sack. And last but not least, of course, we talk about those sacks. In the picture to your left here is my son, DJ, who in that shot is 4 feet 6 inches tall, just to allow you to kind of get an idea for just how big those sacks of tea leaves can be. That is a facility next to a tea field in Withering, and those tea leaves are awaiting transport back to the facility to be turned into aged white tea. So now that we've taken you through plucking them, right, and putting them into bags or getting them back to the facility, they go into the withering stage. But we're going to cover that in a future video. So we hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about harvesting, and stay tuned. We'll walk you through the rest of those steps in the future.
We hope you enjoyed learning more about tea with us. Hit the subscribe button so that you can be notified when we add more videos to our channel. And check out the highlighted videos to learn even more about tea. And last but not least, you can check out all of the teas we talk about in our videos at dominiontea.com.